if I told you that robots will build our first homes on Mars long before the first humans even arrive? Welcome to the future of space exploration. Today, we're diving into the incredible world of AI and robotics and how they're set to revolutionize our inevitable journey beyond Earth. Everyone knows Elon is working on building rockets to get us to Mars. SpaceX and Starship will get us there. But what roles will all of his other companies play in the biggest step man has taken since we went to the moon? Using a first principles approach, I've reverse engineered how each company is likely, almost definitely, just a piece of one larger goal, Mars. This is Elon Musk's master plan. In this video, we'll explore how his various companies are actually working together to achieve this ambitious vision. In the end, everything he does really is all about Mars. Elon Musk is at the forefront of making interplanetary life a reality. He envisions a future where humanity becomes a multiplanetary species. He's very outspoken about this big picture goal. However, there's very little detail on how his companies other than SpaceX might be collectively laying the groundwork for this incredible journey. So here's a quick rundown of how I think it will all ultimately come together before we delve into each of these in more detail. SpaceX will provide the interplanetary transportation. Tesla offers sustainable energy solutions, ground vehicles, autopilot, automated refining and manufacturing, and perhaps most importantly, an autonomous humanoid robotic workforce. The Boring Company is set to create an infrastructure necessary to mine, travel, and live on the surface of Mars. And xAI, Starlink, and Neuralink will meld man, machine, and Mars into a new form of planetary meta superintelligence. Don't worry, we'll nerd out more on this later in the video. Together, all of these companies form a cohesive, synergistic strategy for colonizing other planets. Now, let's get into how all of this will actually go down, step by step. First, we need a sweet ride to get us from A to B, SpaceX's Starship. This state-of-the-art spacecraft is what makes it all possible. Specifically designed to transport humans, satellites, solar panels, robots, vehicles, boring machines, habitat modules, and more to other worlds. With a payload capacity of 100 to 150 tons from Earth to orbit, each ship has the potential to transport a lot of people and cargo from Earth to Mars. And Elon has stated that he intends to manufacture literally thousands of these ships for this purpose. Starship is not just a vessel. It's the cornerstone of the future space economy, capable of ferrying vital resources and equipment to and from various planetary bodies. Similar to how the steam engine opened up the American frontier, allowing anyone safe travel into the Old West, the Starship is about to blast us into the final frontier. It is the railroad of tomorrow. This is going to change everything. And you better believe there's a gold rush coming. Asteroid mining. There's gold in them there hills. Mars is a very big place. Before you build any bases, you want to figure out the best possible locations to establish them. That's where Starlink comes in. Establishing a local satellite network on Mars provides crucial planet-wide services such as GPS, surface mapping, spectral imaging, and resource scanning, weather monitoring, IoT, internet, and communications services. This will make it possible to pick a location with easy access to critical resources that will be necessary for base operations, as well as habitable terrain that's optimal for landing, living, building, and mining. Starlink will ensure that every part of the planet is connected, making it possible for researchers to visit any region on Mars with a Starship and communicate with the home base instantly. It will also facilitate remote autonomous resource discovery, monitoring, and management for future scouting, base building, mining, and manufacturing missions. Once you have the perfect place picked out to start the first Mars base, you need to build it. In the beginning, this means the basics: space for living, working, growing food, generating and storing electricity. Additionally, a rocket refueling station will be necessary for refueling starships for further planetary exploration of the farthest reaches of the Martian surface. All of this is dangerous work, and construction is dangerous enough on Earth, so it would be ideal if humans could skip this process, and they probably will. Thanks to the Tesla Optimus humanoid robot. Designed to handle repetitive and dangerous tasks so you don't have to, Optimus will be the automated workforce that establishes our first bases on Mars. The progress in AI and robotics is exponential. The singularity is near. It's extremely likely that before humans even set foot on Mars, Optimus robots will be busy scouting locations, constructing habitats, building infrastructure, and preparing the environment for human arrival. Robots need power, so does everything else. It's going to take a lot to get things started and to keep them up and running, so a reliable power source is essential. Tesla solar panels and battery banks will provide the necessary energy to power the bots, vehicles, and equipment needed to build and maintain the base. Solar energy is renewable, expandable, storable, and obtainable. And also very reliable, until the cyclical planet-wide dust storms that last for 6 months at a time roll in. These megastorms only occur about once every 6 to 8 Earth years, but 6 months is a long time without reliable sun for solar power. Power production could drop 99% for long stretches of that 6-month period. This renewable energy solution will be crucial for building and running the base once it's established, but an auxiliary power source capable of keeping critical systems online may still be necessary for these significant periods when solar power becomes unreliable. To ensure baseload power production, nuclear power will be essential. With abundant nuclear fuel in our solar system, these reactors will provide the reliable and long-lasting energy necessary to keep critical life support systems online at all times. Without power for the AI management system to actively regulate light, food, air, and water production, the colony could be rendered uninhabitable very quickly. Initially, small modular nuclear reactors will be sent from Earth to fill this need. Once mining, refining, and manufacturing are possible off-world, nuclear power systems will be crucial for sustaining space colonies and will be manufactured on-site as needed with local Martian resources. In fact, with significantly less gravity, the Moon and Mars will likely become major suppliers for these systems in future space missions, as it will be much cheaper and easier to ship them to orbit than it is here on Earth. For a permanent settlement to be viable, we'll need to farm more than just electricity. People need food, water, and air. The best way to provide these is a renewable closed-loop system that mimics Earth's natural biosphere. To do this reliably, a significant portion of the habitat will have to be devoted to vertical farming, providing a continuous supply of fresh food and oxygen for the inhabitants. Some kind of aquaponics system is likely. Here's a list of what it might include. Much more becomes possible as the base begins to scale beyond the bare necessities: chicken, eggs, and a larger variety of fruits, etc. It's very likely that Elon Musk's Square Roots is a prototype for this kind of interplanetary food production. Considering it's a vertical farming company focusing on growing food using this method inside of shipping containers with the goal of providing locally grown food of this kind directly to a city the food is grown in. This is exactly what will be necessary on Mars. The General Motors lunar rovers were cool, but unfortunately you could never actually buy a moon buggy. However, the Tesla Mars rover is likely already shipping to early buyers, and it's called the Cybertruck. Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. And that's mostly because there literally won't be any. Instead, Cybertruck-like vehicles will be the ultimate off-road transportation, necessary for construction, research, and scouting missions. With or without humans or humanoid robots on board, these vehicles will explore areas mapped by Starlink, searching for vital resources like water, metals, and signs of life. For obvious reasons, no pilot necessary. With sufficient data collected, it's time for strategic mining operations. No colony will ever be self-sufficient without the resources required to produce the goods and services that it needs to survive. Once the time is right, the Boring Company's machines will begin mining for necessary materials, constructing pressurized underground spaces necessary for transportation, living, mining, and working. Heavy industry requires heavy shipping capabilities, and there's only one 18-wheeler for the job, the Tesla Semi. An autonomous fleet transporting raw materials from deep within the Martian tunnels at the mining sites to the bases and gigafactories that need them to flourish. Ultimately, gigafactories will be established on Mars to refine materials and produce finished goods on site. These factories will take in raw ores for various materials, aluminum, lithium, iron, silicon, etc., and finished products will come out the other end. Tools, robots, cars, habitat modules, computer chips, solar panels, batteries, and much, much more. The ultimate example of pure autonomous vertical integration. These automated plants will be the backbone of manufacturing in space, ensuring a self-sustaining colony, making an independent civilization on another world truly possible. This Jetsons future isn't complete without a little AI personality. Humans have a particular way of communicating that makes the experience familiar and user-friendly. xAI's Grok has exactly that. This model will be integrated with all devices, phones, starships, cybertrucks, semis, Optimus humanoid robots, etc., giving each a personality and a subjective memory, effectively bringing everything to life. Brave little toaster goes to Mars style. Grok AI will seamlessly permeate everything, making the entire base and all of its tools intelligent, conversational, autonomous, and all with a good sense of humor. The Everything app, known as X, will interconnect all aspects of the base using Tesla Dojo, Starlink, Neuralink, and Grok AI. This is where things get really weird if they weren't weird enough for you already. It's hard to imagine currently, but ultimately there will be no need to type or even speak to communicate what's on your mind, because there will be seamless integration of the human mind with the internet and everything and everyone that's connected to it as well. In the near future, all you have to do is think and make it so. This is already a reality for the first quadriplegic Neuralink users, who are now able to use a computer to text, search the internet, and even play video games with their friends, all with the power of thought. This app will enable a literal hive mind intelligence, allowing seamless interaction between man and machine across the entire planetary surface, bringing a whole new meaning to what we think of as social media today. In space, the economy will use blockchain technology to track and allocate goods and services between various levels of the system. A machine economy will likely use blockchain protocols for transactions between entities, and therefore humans working in the colony will receive pay for their contributions in some form of cryptocurrency, with which they will purchase goods and services. Cryptocurrencies like Doge and Bitcoin could be used for this purpose, in addition to others like them. Regardless, there will likely be more than one, and they will be the gold standard for transactions between all entities on Mars. Decentralized digital peer-to-peer internet money for AIs and people. There will be no need for a central bank to issue currency, as the value of everything will be instantly calculated real-time via supply and demand metrics. This includes the value of the currency itself. This decentralized economy will ensure efficient and secure exchanges of goods and services. This level of automation, once implemented, will ultimately produce such astonishing abundance that the humans within the colony will receive some form of UBI, Universal Basic Income, and will be entirely free to pursue anything they wish for additional income, should they decide to. Food, shelter, healthcare, education, they'll all be produced automatically to meet the demands of anyone born or migrating to Mars. This is what the AI management system will be designed to do. Make and do anything necessary to ensure the survival of the humans in its care. Spare no expense. This will literally be more like a living organism than a traditional centralized government and economy. The machines will care for the humans in every way possible to maximize their freedom, potential, and autonomy. The basis for law will likely be libertarian in nature, and any voting will be conducted via direct democracy. Ultimately, going to Mars is going to be extremely expensive, orders of magnitude more costly than going to the moon. Luckily, the technologies necessary to do it are also just as useful on Earth, which is why, from a first principles perspective, using a business model rather than relying purely on politics and government funding to drive innovation with the efficiency and capital necessary to achieve this goal in a timely manner makes the most sense. However, this means that all of this will likely occur here on Earth first before we even go to Mars, which is actually in many ways even more interesting. Because society may be so utterly transformed by these technologies that we can barely even begin to comprehend what a future beyond that even looks like. This is the nature of the technological singularity, and it's much closer than many people realize. It may literally be only a few short years away from the filming of this video. A place in time where prediction breaks down anything you can imagine and more suddenly becomes both possible and achievable. An age of abundance. So in a way, we're all going to Mars on a starship called Earth. If you found what I said to be slightly disturbing, utterly insane, minutely maddening, or vaguely interesting, slap the like button, inundate the comments with your word salad, and frickin' subscribe. Honk the bell icon like you're summoning a demon from the void, and come back for more. Let's get wiggly.